Hello and welcome to the two-man Fellowship of Wrestling. I'm your host, JP John Paz. With me today, very special guest, former national heavyweight champion, former world-class championship wrestling heavyweight champion, two-time CWA heavyweight champion. Of course, he is known as Black Bart. Black, welcome to the Two-Man Power Trip. How you doing?
How y'all doing, guys? You doing okay? Everything's pretty good here. Kicking, still grabbing, still getting it. Doing the best we can do with the good Lord.
Yes. What is going on in your world? What is going on with the latest with your book, Wrestle? Black Bart.
Right. Yeah. I kindly, I don't know, I hold it up, I guess, move it one way or another. But hey, you got one too. The my book's doing pretty dead gum good. It's a good read from what I can tell. My wife really loved it. She laughed and cried, and she's heard the stories over and over and over, but still got her pretty good. Laughed out loud, belly laughed a couple times, So that made me proud just to get to her because she went through most of it with me, more especially here in the latter part of my career, fighting cancer and the the cancer is I went through 25 sessions of radiation and doing the chemo along with the radiation. The knowing and it makes you sicker than a dog. I haven't had neither. I ain't had neither in about a little over 2 weeks, and I still ain't got it out of my system. I had a rough night last night. I was up most of the night, but the the overall thing is to get it out of my system. On the 20th of this month, I'm going to have MRI, and then on the 29th, I go see my the head surgeon, the head doctor, the head dude in charge, and get them all together in one big group, and then we're going to decide what they're going to do to old Black Bart. Just see what we're going to do. We're either going to have surgery or we're going to have more chemo or more radiation. I hope it ain't both of them never again together at the same time. But if it is, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to try to get it out of me the best way I can. But with that being said about my chemo and everything, I'm kicking. I rung the bell. I don't know if I did a video ringing that bell down there to the hospital when they did that, and when I finished it, and I guess you get to ring the bell if you're alive after you finish it. You get to ring the bell, but I rung the bell. And I broke out in the referee's position. I wanted to lock up with somebody, but I didn't. Didn't have no. They're all scared to death of me. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I'm glad that part is over with. Very, very, very glad that part is over with, and thank God for giving me the strength and the endurance to get through it. It's one of the toughest things I've ever done. I'm sure I got tougher things coming, but my belief in the good Lord and my with all my prayers and people praying for me and helping me, you don't know how much that it's appreciated on this end. I don't know how to thank everybody other than to say, hey, thanks. I appreciate it, and God bless each and every one of y'all for praying for Bart. Because if anybody, I need all the prayers I can get. You know what I mean, brother. But
absolutely,
the book. When you accomplish a lot of things in my life. I've accomplished dead gum. I've wrestled two bears. I beat one of them. We're all wrestling to a draw. I didn't beat him. I wrestled him to a draw, and he is, and the Bears ain't in the book. It'll be in the next one, I guess. But a lot of stuff that's in this book is road stories and stories about other wrestlers, and it's all good stuff. It ain't no dirt in there, I don't think. Uh, a whole lot anyway. Maybe a little bit here and there. You're gonna have to read it to find out for sure, because I ain't gonna tell you. You're gonna buy one and read the dead gum thing. Maybe by doing that, you'll get to see a little inside of Black Bart that you ain't never heard of, you ain't never seen before. But I pretty much laid it all out in the ring. When I was in the ring, I believed that you got in there, you wrestled, and you poured all your guts out, and you left 110% in the ring. And you didn't. If you didn't come back to the dressing room. You just get in your car and going home because you didn't do your job. Uh, I firmly believe that in any situation you got to give 110, 120%. And this fight this fight against cancer in my book uh, go hand in hand. I didn't never think I would ever look down and see have a book with my name on it and about my life, you know, and stories and things that happened in my life. But I did, and I have, and I'm glad that I'm glad that I'm glad that I got it. When I got it, look down in there, it's just so hard to explain the feeling of having your own book. It's more especially with the education I had. I had a football education. My education was only got an education because I played football, so to speak. It's the way it was back in the 70s and early 70s, 71, 72. The athletes, if you failed the test, you got the test in the dressing room, and they brought you the book, and you went in there and found all the answers, and then you screamed. They give you 75. They pass you. It's
Right.
pretty much what way, that's the way it was, you know. And I hope that's changed, but I mean, I'm just now learning to spell words. Certain words I have to have help spelling because I can't break them down. I guess something like that anyway. But with everything piling up, you know, getting again you, and you got to push back, and pushing back I'm meaning, you know, that the to me the book is biggest accomplishment that I have ever had, made, done. National championship, world class heavyweight champion, or world class heavyweight tag team champions with several guys. Uh, Johnny Hawk, which is Layfield, and a whole bunch of guys. You know that Wild Bill Irwin was one of my partners. Uh, and but to look down and see this book was just more of a compliment than anything that I have ever accomplished in my life. Just looking down and opening that box, and there's my book. You know, so wow, wow, Black Bart's got a book. Holy cow! But you know, you
How did it
you
come
gonna get
about?
in on any of this?
Oh yeah,
Do I
yeah.
now?
How did it come about? Like, how did you like start writing the book, and how did Vinny Berry, who's co-wrote it with you, how did he come along and get you to do the book?
Uh, Vinny is a godsend for me because he was. I don't think we did it with the traditional way. It wasn't done that way, but I told the stories and put them on tape, and then he actually just took my stories and put them on and put it in words and put it in paper, and you know made the stories out of it. And he I said 100 times. I said I feel like as I was going through my life, Vinny was in my front pocket. All my shirts always have a little front pocket. I said, Vinny, you lived inside my shirt, telling these stories like you're me, you know. And he turns into me. He turns into Black Bart. So, and I used to be a little bit more spunky than I had the last 7, 8, 9 weeks. But Yeah, he does a good Black Bart, real good Black Bart. He's a godsend. Benny's a godsend. He put it all in, and then sit and listen to it all again and again and again and again and again until he had it. And he put it in the book form. It's all Benny worked his butt off on this book. So did I, but mine was more trying to remember, trying to remember everything and everybody, and you know that kind of that kind of stuff. Uh, but with that, well, Vinny's a godsend. I don't want to blow his head up too much, but because I know he's listening, I don't want to blow his head up too much because his head's big enough as it already is.
Now, I know you've been to basically every territory. You've been all over the map and stuff. When you're actually putting the book together, is it hard to like almost go through and relive your life? Because you're like, gotta, oh, I started here. I wrestled for JCP World Class. I mean, is it hard to do that and go through everything?
It was very, very hard. More especially for me to put dates on it and to pick my brain and put dates on it and say this happened in 74, this happened in 75. uh, some of it was real easy because I think about it all the time, but some of it remembering was real hard, and some of it I didn't remember. I mean, some of it I honestly God don't remember. I was taking a lot of bumps, was just pretty much I stayed drunk pretty much all the time, was always drinking. Not the other stuff, the dope comes into play and plays on your mind and takes your brain cells and all kinds of but through it all, you say, you got to say, okay, that's enough of that. I can't. That's no good. Don't do that. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Leave drugs alone. Let somebody, if somebody's got to do them, let somebody else do them. Don't put the drugs thing, because it's heavy and it's hard to pull out of. It's hard to get. It's hard to just. It's hard to say when. And I hit a little bit in the book about that, and but I mean, all of us, every one of the wrestlers had a crutch. Uh, Mine was alcohol. Uh, the pain. And that, the pain never went away. We was always looking for a stronger pain medicine to where we could keep going and keep wrestling and keep making them memories, man, and where you can forget them all. You get dropped on your head and you lose 2 or 3 years of your life. Oh, I don't know. He's okay. He just had got a knot on his head. No, you just lost 2 years of your memory. And then to go back and try to dig it out of your head and dig it out of the closet in your head. So, it's hard. It was hard. A lot of it was a lot of it was easy, but a lot more of it was harder than easy. I guarantee it. Um, so
Hey, you've been, like I said, everywhere, and it's crazy. Like just looking through the career, okay, world class, obviously, a little bit of mid South, UWF, a little mixed in, obviously WWF, WCW, even. But if you look back and you look like, okay, like who you wrestled, like wow, Sting literally just retired. And God, you wrestled him almost 40 years ago. So it's like, wow, Sting just retired after 40 years in the ring. What's like your thoughts just on Sting, the retirement, and even going back that far, wrestling basically in the late 80s against the Stinger?
Sting called me. He found out I had cancer, and he called me to make sure that I was right with God. And I started I started preaching to Sting, but I didn't. I didn't believe that it was Sting. Sting calling me, because we're from the old school, brother, and we don't call each other unless we're making rides with each other, going making trips together, doing something. Or we don't call each other. We don't call each other at all. We still love each other, but we just don't call. And Sting called me, and and we talked for 20, 25 minutes, and Sting was. I didn't believe that it was him, and I had a picture of a little 5x7 picture of me. Sting has got me in an arm bar, and there's more pain on my. There's more. There's no. I have Sting in an arm bar, and there's more pain on my face than on his face. You understand what I'm saying? And I said, and he is describing that match, and I'm listening to him describe what I'm looking at on my table on my tabletop. Same match, and I said, "Stan, what are you doing, brother?" All that went on. But he was he. I got Sting when he was Blade Runners. He was with Bill Watts out of Louisiana Territory, and he super nice kid, and still is the very day. It didn't blow him up. It didn't go to his head. So yeah, Sting was and still is a good friend of mine. So
I love that he called you and was checking in on you and everything. That's pretty. What a stand-up guy, big time.
he really was, really did. Uh, uh, and a lot of them. Johnny Layfield, Johnny. I know him as Johnny Hawk, but Johnny Layfield. Uh, I helped. I didn't train him. I didn't train Johnny. I polished Johnny to get him ready to go in front of big crowds and get him get him polished. We could go to have these big giant matches that he had, and he had some big ones. He had some good ones. And Johnny is one of my bestest friends in the business. I mean, we talk. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be on his podcast Wednesday night, Wednesday, whenever it is. I don't know when it's coming up, but it's coming up real soon, real soon. And Vinny's gonna be mad at me because I ain't pushing a book, but I'm pushing my book, y'all. I'm talking about my career, but yeah, me and Johnny talk a lot, talk back and forth a lot. We rib with each other a lot. Done a lot of stuff, but I ain't telling none of the stories because it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more coming out. Maybe I hope if I'm physically able to do it.
What did you think about John Hawk, Bradshaw, JBL, John Layfield back then? Because obviously became a huge star, became WWF champion for almost 300 days. What did you think of him then? And then what did you think about kind of what he turned into? Because he turned into one of the biggest stars of WWF in the ruthless aggression era.
He, yeah, Johnny's a good guy, man. Super nice guy. Uh, actually deserved everything he got. A lot of guys in the business didn't deserve it, but he actually deserved everything that he's got. And like my hat's off to him, brother. I don't know if I worked WWF and it did, and I was brought in. I was brought in there as a jobber, but on top jobber. There's a difference between be a jobber and being underneath jobber and on top jobber. I made dead gum good money, and but here again, that goes back to me and my old lady at the time. We didn't say nothing. We thought we'd wrestle forever. We never thought that Black Bart would have cancer and it just don't enter. It didn't enter into our thought. It didn't enter into. We'd wrestle forever. When you couldn't wrestle no more, you'd be a manager or you'd be setting up the ring. You'd be doing something to have something to do with wrestling your whole life, which pretty much it has. I'm still doing towns and not doing towns, but handling the locker rooms, handling the guys. Uh, all the guys respect me, and we always have a good time. Got one coming up got a match that's coming up on the 16th in Joshua, Texas at Thunder. It's called Thunder Alley. Uh, I'll be running the back. I'll be running the guys and running the matches, making sure they're getting run good, smooth. Everything goes good. Everything goes good. That's on the 16th. We got more. We got more coming up after that. I can't remember all. I should have wrote the dates down, but didn't. Think think it's March the 3rd. Is we're doing Gilmer again, Gilmer, Texas. Uh, then after that, there's more dates coming up there in that building. There's more dates. There's more dates coming up. I mean, I'm still, like I said, I'm not I'm not out of wrestling, and I want until they so-called put dirt on my in my face in my grave. Then yeah, they'll. That ain't gonna happen either because I'm gonna donate. I'm donating my body to science. So with that being said, that's that. Uh, I'm donating mine. Everything's going to science. Maybe help cure cancer, help kill cancer, just beat the living hoo hoo out of cancer, and and I've got the paperwork and everything, and we're gonna get her done. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. I think you have to die first though, but you got to fill out the paperwork before you die.
Right.
Something like that. It goes something like that. I got the paperwork. It ain't a grim subject to me because I'm it's a win-win situation for me. If I stay here, I get to stay with my grandson and my wife and my niece. And if I drop dead right now, I'm doing nip up and going straight to heaven. Straight up, brother. Straight up. Straight up.
Yep. Now you mentioned WWF and that run basically in 1990. You said underneath jobber versus an on top jobber. What does that mean technically though? Like obviously like you lose a lot on TV, but you do get wins. Like you're beating Coco, you're beating Jim Powers, like you will get wins over some of the guys. What was the time like in WWF?
I thought that I had a lot worse record than what I had, and I looked at the same thing you looked at, and I was batting five. I think I was batting 500. I won as many matches as I lost. In other words, I was batting 500, and I said, "Dead gum, I don't remember doing nothing but jobs." But brother, you go up there as a top jobber. You're doing on their TVs alone. I wrestled 9 times on TV in one building, 9 times in front of the same crowd now. And I told Dave Hepner, Earl Hepner, I said, you need to get this back to Vince. I don't know how you're going to get it back there, but you need to take this back in you need to take this back there to him. And I ain't doing no. I'm done. I ain't doing no more jobs. I may want to be on top, come in here in another territory. So I'm done. I ain't doing no more jobs. But I found out I won as many matches as I lost. So I was batting 50-50, 500s. That's good. That's good. Uh, but the difference is, you're doing a job for Randy Savage, brother. You don't have to hang your head low at all, even to be honored that they'll put you in the ring with one of their top guys, knowing that guy is not going to get hurt. He's not going to get jumped on. He's going. I'm a worker. I always have been a worker, and we'll die a worker. And I mean, some of the best workers in the business, Ricky Steamboat, right at the top. I mean, tip top, right at the top of the list is Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, guys that you don't even feel them when you're in the ring. And I was one of those guys. I'm rated right up there amongst them, and to have me was into what we call the night off. You got to work, you got paid, and you didn't get hurt. You know, that was a plus plus. That's all a win-win situation. But being a top guy, when you're doing a job, and you come in, you're doing just regular jobs. You're just jobbing for everybody. Well, this you do more jobs, you do more. You get to win to make your credibility, to make you credible, and then they put you, and then you do a job. Man, it's that simple. Making good money too, doing it. Great money. Wish I'd save.
Yeah, I wish you wish you save some. How did you get in though? Is it because of Dusty? Did Dusty Rhodes bring you in? Because I know you're like a tried and true Dusty guy, right?
Dusty Rhodes come way, way, way later in my career. Uh, I've been in the business 20 years before Dusty Rhodes give me my big push. Uh, but I'm including job time, and paying dues and I graduated high school, and then as soon as that I went to Howard Payne University, and then went to from there. A buddy of mine called me, said they opened up a school of professional wrestling in Dallas, Texas. I said, sign me up. He went down there. Not only did he sign me up, he signed himself up. He become a referee. His name Rick Miller. He become a referee in running towns, and I become a wrestler. And Rick paid for all that. And I said, Rick, I appreciate it, brother. You don't know how much I appreciate it. He's got almost identically the same kind of cancer I got. We growed up together. We went to elementary school together. Uh, good, very, very, very close friend of mine. And started running towns. Well, I started running town. When we start running towns, you're a wrestler as far as I'm concerned. You start taking bumps, you're a wrestler. I wasn't on taking bumps. I was setting up the ring, tearing down the ring down, loading it up and going to the next town, from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we was wrestling all out in East Texas and having a good time, running up down the roads like a bunch of banshees. and selling things. Nobody knew none of us, but we sell that almost every building we did. We sold it out. Sold it out. It was unbelievable. I could not believe that you would make money doing wrestling business, the wrestling. but
So
you
Dusty
know,
Dusty didn't get you in the WWF in '90. That was someone else that got you in WWF.
no, he had nothing to do with it. Uh, I had I was in Pensacola, Florida. I just went to work for Bob Armstrong and Robert Fuller in that Pensacola territory. Well, Dusty called me. I guess I've been in there for about 8 or 9 months, maybe a little bit longer. I ain't real good about the dates, but he Dusty called me then, and this is in 80. I can say I'm very bad on dates, but anyway, I was in Pensacola. I was an Alabama heavyweight champion, and Dusty said, "You want you to come up here? I'm gonna change your gimmick, put Black Bart on you," and told me what to get, told me everything to get, to buy, to do, and come bring my butt on. I went up there and I become Black Bart, and this is I want to say 80, 81, but it was in 81, 82, somewhere around in there, and me and my wife Bonnie was together. Bonnie's dead now, but she's gone. She's gone, but uh, me and my wife Linda got married, and we happily ever after, so to speak. But the Dusty called me and told me to come down there and Black Bart. I've been on as Black Bart ever since. And they come later on in my career. Later, like I want to say 83, 84. Anyway, during that heyday down there, we selling out every dead gum thing we touched. Me and Ron Bass, J.J. Dillon, the Long Riders, Mike Maniac, Mike Davis, uh, all. Yeah, I think Buzz Sawyer come in and out of there. Black Jack Mulligan, Barry Windham, he was Yellow Dog. His little brother, Kendall Windham. They had a heck of a crew, a heck of a territory, made real good money up to Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings went, and then we said, "See you." We all left. Every one of us went to Carolinas. But anyway,
It
Uh,
seems like you and Dusty do have like a long history. Obviously, he's creating the Black Bart gimmick. He's bringing you along, but he brings you along for Starcade when Starcade starts, especially Starcade '84. Eventually, WWF, PWF, WCW. Right? I mean, you and Dusty have a long history. What's the friendship like, or what was it like?
we met, and when I was a jobber in the Carolinas, okay, and he anytime okay after he give me the Black Bart give me anytime I needed a place to work, all I had to do is pick up the phone, call Dusty, and I had a job. Okay, but back then there's a lot of territories. Now there ain't no territories. So now you either work for Vince McMahon or you work for AEW or you don't work. You know, you just do little spot jobs and stuff like that. Little uh, Saturday night Saturday night warrior, so to speak. Uh, but yeah, he we were friends, and I was around him quite a bit. But as far as him being my boss back then, he wasn't. He was just one of the boys. We were just palling around together and drinking cold beers. Me, him, Dick Murdoch, and Ray Stevens, and guys like that. That's a pretty good group of guys right there. But the the try. And then finally, he calls me. He give me the big break. He give me the big break that made me go for it. Really go for it. Really go for it. But all right, okay, are we done?
No, no. I love that gimmick though, Black Bart. Great job by him. Obviously, he's an old, old fan of those like old westerns. Just like the perfect thing. Even the Long Riders, and obviously you end up feuding eventually with Ron Bass as well. But the Long Riders is a cool thing. It's like an old western kind of awesome, cool heel gimmick.
We did a we did a sitcom western, Ghost Riders, looking for Stan Hansen. Uh, it kind of turned out to be a big joke because of some, but I don't want. I ain't going. I ain't. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to go there. But we did a western. They rented a town, $175,000 a day to rent this ghost town in this western town, and we done that, and it aired on TBS, and it was supposed to have been sold to Fox, and never happened. Never happened. Uh, but with that being said, um,
So as far
we
as it's like successful territories and like the biggest success, obviously with Dusty, when you're in Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling, when you're in JCP, obviously big success. But I think maybe your biggest success might have came from World Class down there in Dallas, Texas. And obviously you worked in Texas forever. I mean, when they did NWA Dallas, you came back for that. They had that CWA league, you did that. Global, you did that. So obviously Dallas and Black Bart is kind of, I'd say maybe your biggest success. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. I can't. I can't say a whole lot about the guys that I was wrestling, which was the Von Erichs. Uh, Other than they were good kids, they were good guys, man, and they had problems. As it shows, they had problems, and the problems that they had, they could, I don't guess, in their minds, they couldn't be solved. But yeah, to me, uh, having that getting that world heavyweight strap to me was it was a highlight of my career. I mean, how many how many how many how many wrestlers can say, I've been a world heavyweight champion? How many wrestlers can say I was world heavyweight champion in probably one of the toughest territories to work in that there ever was? Meaning, you get your butt handed to you if you ain't careful. Not to mention having to put up with the Von Erichs and all their stuff they done, and you know, uh, it was it was accomplishment that I never knew. I never seen it coming. I walked into Will Rogers Coliseum. George Scott dropped the world strap on my butt on my bag and said, "You're the champ." That's the truth. The candy coating is it aired that I beat Chris Adams. I beat Chris Adams in El Paso, Texas, or some damn place for it, and that was a fabrication because they had to fabricate it because he got deported on a plane. He slapped co-pilot and got deported back to England for his trouble. Bye bye, Chris. Hello, Black Bart. It's the way it works. That's the way our business works. And I'm not one. I stepped right in there. I stepped up to the plate, and I believe I hit several home runs, bro. Several home runs. I smashed it. But yeah, that was one of my biggest accomplishments. And then to keep doing it night after night after night was wrestling 7 days a week. And some people said, some guys say it was easy wrestling here. Well, if you had the full schedule, it wasn't easy, brother, because you did some mileage here, just like everywhere else. You did some mileage here. You could be booked in Houston and be booked in San Antonio, not San Antonio. You could be booked in El Paso and book. That's 500 stinking miles one way. But with with the Von Erichs, it's a different style of wrestling. It's a different. Sometimes you had to put the Holtz on yourself. You had to put side headlock. Put Holtz on yourself. But all in all, it worked out, and they were all good boys. Kevin's, I love Kevin. I've actually managed a couple of times against his boys with him managing and me managing out on the coast of Texas. Big show out there. Yeah.
Pretty awesome, like to kind of see that full circle. Obviously, Kevin beats you for that title back all the way in '86, but wrestling or not wrestling, managing against his boys, very much a full circle moment. His boys are pretty good.
Not bad at all from what I can see. I mean, I ain't never locked up with one of them. That's the truth. To lock up with one of them, that tells you the true if they're how stiff they are, stuff like that. But with with I want to mention Mike Von Erich because I was coming. I went to back out to Carolinas. I was coming back in something anyway. I was wrestling in a little building on the way back. Got booked in out there in Louisiana, and it had to be 135 degrees outside. It's in the swamp, and inside that building, in that ring, it was ungodly. But I looked down, I had him down, and I looked down, and had that scar on his shoulder right here. And I asked Rick Hazard was the referee. I said, Rick, I said, is this the kid that just had the shock syndrome? And the Von Erich that just had it? He says, yeah. I said, and we done been like 20 minutes, and it's soaping, sopping, but poured water on us. It's so hot in this building, we're sweating so bad, brother. I took and picked that kid up. I flipped him over, put him down for a slam, did a flip over the top of him, pulled him up over top of me and said, count. Said, you better count 1, 2, 3 right now. 1, 2, 3. He asked me, well, why do you do that? And I said, well, brother, one of the main things is they had to. I said, I don't want to kill Von Erich, I said that he just got out the hospital, man, and he looked like, he looked it too. He looked bad. He looked bad. So I ended the match right there. It was done. It was done. Hazard laughed. But anyway.
Scary though, like that they put him out there like that.
Put him, but they did, and it's scary. It's scary to think they just throw him, pretty much just throw him under the bus. Here it is. You go do it.
When you look at obviously the Von Erichs and all that tragedy, it's just it's crazy to think. I mean, they're the most over guys in that territory, but then it's one tragedy after another after another. Then, like you said, Adams gets deported. Gino Hernandez passes away. Gino Hernandez. It just was crazy, world class, how much tragedy that they had to deal with down there.
The territory. I mean, it pretty much took the territory out. I mean, as far as surviving running territory, we were running. They were running the Sportatorium. They was running Real Rogers Coliseum, and every during the week they filled that up with spot shows in between. There's spot shows that we run every once a month or once every 2 months. Ever how they worked that out, I don't know how. Had to be a mastermind behind that, but they they were class act to work for. I'm telling you, they were something else. Something else.
What about the Dingo Warrior? What about the Ultimate Warrior? 'Cause I know you worked him down there. Just what are your thoughts of working him, and what did you think about Dingo Warrior, Ultimate Warrior?
Gathering them up. Me and Warrior we weren't friends by no means, but I always said about that boy, and maybe I shouldn't have said, but I said he forgot more about wrestling than he'll ever remember. So, with that being said, he can run down there and shake that rope, jump over in the ring, shake the rope, and you better be ready to go home because that's about the end of his repertoire. Other than tatered up, I mean, had a good punch. He'd tatered the TPP out of you. He'd knock that fire, that bark off that butt. Don't ever think he wouldn't. Um, but Dingo was a good guy. He what he liked, and he did. In other words, he didn't become as he grew, and you know that gimmick. You know that gimmick was going to get over because it was crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And Dingo, he got better at being nice. I guess is the word, being nicer. Being nicer every time you seen him, it seemed like he got a little bit nicer, a little bit nicer, a little bit. Hey, the boy's going the right direction, And so he go to the ring, shake it, boom, bam, boom. He sells out Madison Square Garden, sells out everything he touches. Well, you can't. How do you knock that? You can't knock that. Warrior was a good dude, man. Warrior was a good dude.
What was your most successful territory as far as financially? What was the best place to go? Would it be world class or no?
No, no, it wasn't world class by no means. No, it was WWF. I could give you some numbers, but I ain't giving you no numbers because I don't want you to expect to what uh, we blew. Me and my old lady blew. Me and Bonnie, we blew it. We blew. We had opportunity. I'll put it like this: we had opportunity to become millionaires and didn't. But we had a 7 or 8 bedroom home out in Fort Myers, Florida, with every kind of fruit tree that you can imagine, every kind of a pond, a big giant pond, a little lake, in other words, full of bass that I had them named. I go out there and catch them by name, okay, by name. I catch them, and we had greyhounds. We was running greyhounds, racing greyhounds. Had I own two, and that we paid 2,900 a month rent. We wouldn't rent. Yeah,
Wow.
this stupid kids. And I'm talking about Black Bart now. You know, should have sat down and said, "Hey, listen. Akbar tried, beg me. Bart, do money market, put your money in money market accounts, money market accounts." I'd go, Bonnie, hey, come on, let's. No, 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 no. We'll wrestle forever. You know that. Okay, we'll wrestle forever. Yeah, Not.
Yeah, that doesn't work out like that for sure. Now, how come the end of the run in WWF was like a short run, basically most of '90 and maybe a little bit of sprinkled into 1991?
13 months. I don't know how long y'all was there. See, I didn't just wrestle after I after he give me my notice. He give me my notice, and this is all in the book. But he give me my notice. I become like a talent agent for for Titan Sports. Okay, and Texas, Louisiana, uh, New Mexico, uh, uh, Oklahoma. The 4 state area right here. They were here. I had nine. I brought 8 or 9 guys, jobbers, to the arenas, and I was still getting the same money I was when I was wrestling, doing that. I was on all the big shows. I was at WrestleMania that year. Uh, I cut an interview for it. I don't know whatever happened to the interview, but I'm sure they got it locked up somewhere. They still show my matches on that dead gum. They show all that, which I've never received one penny for nothing for that. Um, you know, but yeah, my highest paid territory was WWE. My highest paid territory that I actually had fun in was Florida Championship Wrestling. Then World Class. Then it would be the NWA out in the Carolinas, the old territory. I'm talking about the old territory, the old territory. But yeah, other than that, that, and that's weird. That's the first time I've ever been asked that kind of questions about that. Uh, pretty.
Now, what was the big train, Bart? What was that? Because you came back to WCW. I'm guessing maybe Dusty brought you in. What was that gimmick? What was that all about? Because that was, I guess, 95 ish, but strange gimmick for you.
It was. I was just talking about Fuller a while ago. Fuller was in there as the manager, and he had 2 cowboys already in there. In my gimmick in Black Bart, in the Black Bart duster, the Black Bart everything. They dressed just like me. Well, they wouldn't let me come back in there. I was living in Greenville, South Carolina. You know that ain't very far from Atlanta TV. And I went up there because I wanted to be around a little bit of wrestling. Just a little bit. I was a foreman on the paint crew, painting houses, and I've always worked doing something. I don't care what it was. I was a construction worker, but with they said, no, Bart, you can't come in as Black Bart. Already got cowboy gimmicks in here, but you can come in as big. You can come in as big train Bart. I said, do what? Gonna change? I said, nah. Then I did that job for Inferno, the Flaming Inferno. Well, he was a Flaming Inferno, all right. I did a 1, 2, 3 for him. I went back. Iron Anderson, which I had got Iron Anderson his damn job. Okay, he he met me at the dressing room door, and I told him, I said, let me tell you something, buddy. I quit. That's it. I ain't never quit a territory in my life. I've never walked. I've never done anything wrong. But Iron, I said, that was wrong, and you know it. I could beat that guy in my sleep in 10 seconds. And I think him and Iron wound up getting in a big old fight, fuss themselves. I don't know if it was over that, but they wound up fighting at a motel or something. I don't know how. I don't know. Inferno was kind of stupid. Well, I don't want to call him stupid. Ain't nobody stupid, but he was a goofball. He was a meathead.
Yeah, so losing to Disco Inferno, really, you only wrestled, I think, him, Benoit, and were a part of World War III, and then Big Train Bart is basically gone.
Well, cool. Well, after when you the following weekend, I wrestled Inferno. Believe it. And then that was it. I was gone. But the match with see, they got mad at me for the match with Benoit because me and Benoit went out there and stole the show. Me and Benoit went out there and stole the show. They couldn't follow it. Irons met me at the door again, just screaming, "You kill him! You kill! Well, we're gonna make him a four horseman." You take that four horseman. I said, "Iron, take that four horseman crap and stick it straight up your hoo hoo." And I'm being nice. I wasn't being nice then, and I said, that me and that boy just went out there and stole the show, and now y'all go follow it. Y'all go follow that. That was a big thing back then, stealing, taking the roof off. And me and Benoit took the roof off, brother, because we had plenty. We wrestled each other and against each other in Japan on 2 or 3 tours. I was with him in Japan. That's where I knew him, and yeah. But anyway, the
Good hand.
yeah, Chris Benoit. I'm trying. Nancy and that little boy. I don't believe all the garbage they got out on that either. I don't think. And opinions is like a-holes. Everybody's got one. But you take a guy like Benoit, he would have died. God Almighty, he would have fought. He would have fought a buzzsaw for that boy. Okay, and I don't believe the crap. I don't believe it at all. I don't believe it at all. I believe that somebody else did it. But anyway, are we wrap? Are we going to? You want me to? I'll do the wrap.
Yeah, let's wrap this bad boy up. Talk about the book, where everybody can get it, and why everybody should get Wrestle Black Bart.
I want to this deadgum book right here to me. Like I said, it means the world to me. But you can get it at Ratsleville. You can get it at Ratsleville.com. You can get it at you can get it at Amazon. Amazon, that's the right one. You get it at Amazon. You get it at Ratsleville.com. I believe it's a good read, even though I haven't read it, but I don't have to read it because it's my life. I mean, it's my life, and you see that? That's just some of the pictures on the inside of it. I don't know if you can see it or not. There we go. There we go. There's no buzz stories, but the book it will enlighten you about this business. It will tell you stories, and it is stories from my memory. Okay, and sometimes your memory ain't all the way right, but it's my memory, so it's right to me. Am I making sense? It's right to me. My book is right to me because it's my stories, it's my life, and it's the way I seen it, and the way that I believe it went down. Just like you said, I wasn't in WWF for about 4 or 5 months. I worked in WWF as an employee for almost 14 months. So that's how long I worked for them. Not in the ring, but here again, it's they said when I had that belt for against Kevin, I had that belt for 2 or 3 months. But okay, I dropped the belt back to him. That don't mean I left the territory. I stayed in the territory and still worked. I worked and I've worked here ever since. I have booked the sportatorium, And that ain't no the sportatorium ain't nothing but a parking lot with a cyclone fence around it. That's where that building used to be. That's what's there. But anyway, we'll give a wrap. And the take on the book, you need to get it and read it. And subject to not subject. You know, I wrote it and I didn't. I was in on the word wrote told me off. I'm not. Vinny wrote the dead gum book. I told the stories. Okay,
Yep.
Vinny put it on paper. All right, that's what I'm trying to get across. And I pray to my Lord God that any athlete that's coming down the pikes through junior high, elementary, the whole. I played sports as long as I can remember. I was in track. I would play softball, throw, all that stuff, volleyball, all that, everything. Done everything I could do, and with the sports, and one of the main things is don't just do the sports. You know, please, please, please do the get the learning. The learning is so important and so much more important than the sports will ever be. Sports will be there. That learning, when it comes, it goes, and then bam, you, you ain't got it. It's gone. Keep digging. I believe in my Savior Jesus Christ, my Lord and my Savior, and I believe, and I ask each and every one of y'all out there to believe in Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. Uh, that being said, I love each and every one of y'all. Grab a book, read it. You'll enjoy it. It's well worth it. I think they charge $25 for it. I don't know. I'm not for sure, but and I love each and every one of y'all. And my health is fine. I'm doing well. Like I said, on the 20th, I'm going to do an MRI, a special scan or something. And then on the 29th, I go and find out I'll have something around the 29th out on Facebook that, where I'm going with my cancer and everything like that. I want to give a shout out to Frogman LeBlanc. He's going through cancer just like I am. And he was a jobber in Louisiana and a very, very close friend of mine. And all prayers for him, all prayers and love, please, for Frogman. And God bless y'all. God bless each and every one of y'all. Bye.
Thank you, Black Bart. Thank you, everybody out there. Check out Wrestle. Go to wrestleville.com for the book. Black Bart, thank you so much for all the time. Really appreciate it.